Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having trouble speaking today. I don't know why. It's the end of the day. We're going to try our best to do this video. Give you guys my opinions and my thoughts. Mourinho, Vini Jr., Gianluca, Prestiani, Benfica, this whole saga yesterday. Now, Vini Jr. scores an absolutely crazy goal. Madrid wins this game 1-0. What happens after the goal? First of all, before we get into anything, uncomfortable conversations inbound for Vini Jr. He's got 57 goals and assists now. He's ranked second in the Champions League for Brazilians all time with goals and assist combo. Only to Neymar, who's got 67 in 71 matches. Vinny's going to absolutely shatter this record. He's phenomenal in the Champions League when he is on. He's going to have 80 or 90 conservative goals and assists in the Champions League at the end of his career. And man, he may well get over 100. The goal yesterday was absolutely beautiful. Cut inside finesse. And what does Vini Jr. do after the goal? He starts dancing. You know, he starts thrusting his hips a little bit. I can understand Benfica being upset. You know, if I was home and Vini Jr. scores that against me, okay, that's, starts dancing like that, I'd feel like a little pressed. I'd probably go over to him. I'd probably be like, bro, get your ass out of here. Get out of here, right? But the problem lies, right? So Otamendi and Gianluca Prestiani, we don't even really know this guy that well. They go up to him after the goal. They start getting mad at him when he starts doing a little bit of extra, right? And then, Otamendi, first of all, by the way, he's always just a player that, he's always annoying, right? He's always annoying. He's always in your face. He's not the guy that's going to tolerate you dancing on his home team. He feels disrespected. Okay, that's one thing. And guys, look, I'm all there for shit talking, bro. I understand shit talking. Guys, Vini Jr., this is the one thing that people don't understand. I bet Vini Jr. is one of the craziest shit talkers in football. I don't know anybody directly on Real Madrid, but let me tell you, Vini Jr. is a very polarizing player. People either love him or they really don't like him, right? Does not let any room for racism sneak in. No, there should never be racism in the world, right? Shit talking should not be connected to racism. And no, I'm not being woke and I'm not being soft. What the fuck is the point of racism? It's the lowest IQ stuff to do, to go hate on someone aggressively because of race. Whatever you are, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, whatever ethnicity or part of the world you're from, if you are hating on someone else because of their color or where they're from, you're just a fucking loser, man. That's the first part, right? And look, this is coming from the guy that's all down for shit talk. It's not acceptable to be racist, okay? So that's what I want to get out of the way. To any ethnicity, to anybody, why would you be racist? You're just a moron if you're being racist. Because, someone that's actually a thoughtful, good-souled individual is never going to point or think directly to racism. Even in a moment where someone was annoyed, an example of a Benfica player, was Otamendi at any point racist to Vini Jr.? No, he was just pissed off that he was celebrating like that, right? So I want to get that out of the way before we get into Prestiani and this whole situation, right? Because basically what happens, Vini gets a yellow card for the celebration. Okay. Ref doesn't, look, for me, guys, if I scored that goal in the Champions League as Vini Jr., I probably would have done way worse stuff. I probably would have thrusted for 15 seconds. Okay? Whatever. You get a yellow card. You get a yellow card for taking your shirt off. I have done that before. I scored a game winner. I took my shirt off. I got a yellow card, right? It's a part of the game. I've seen way worse celebrations than the one Vini Jr. did. He gets the yellow card. Okay, that's one thing, right? Then what happens, though, is that when they're getting past, right, Prestiani does this, right? He says some words to Vini Jr., okay? He's a younger Argentine player. Now, let's get it out of the way. Let's establish two things in this video, okay? Guys, I am friends with a lot of Argentine people, okay? A lot. I have a lot of friends that are Argentine. I play football with a lot of them. The ones that I'm close with or know are not racist. I don't even know if I could give you a time where they even made a comment, right? Now, I believe, don't quote me on this 100%, Argentina as a nation, okay? It's not labeling everybody who's Argentine, but anybody that keeps up, I believe they've been ranked by the Spectator Index the last few years as the most racist country. I believe. I think it goes back and forth between Italy and Argentina in the rankings the last 20 years, right? And we see a lot of racism in Serie A games. We always hear stories about that. Does that mean everybody in Argentina is racist? No, it's not generalizing it. But I'm going to say this as well about the Argentine national team. We have seen many things coming out of the Argentine national team that are racist. We've seen it. We've seen IG Lives. I'm not going to repeat them. The stuff after France, the stuff with Enzo. Guys, there's been a lot of situations, okay? Okay. Who hates Brazil the most? Argentina. Who hates Argentina the most? Brazil. Guys, what people are not understanding at a deeper level too, there's a massive rivalry between Argentina and Brazil. So they fucking hate each other, okay? Doesn't leave any room for racism. No. I don't think Otamendi was racist. But what I will tell you is this Prestiani kid who's 20 years old and probably has a short guy complex who's 5'4". He's like 5'4". Short guys always are angry and snippy like this, right? He probably said something racist, and I'm going to explain why. I can't show you the exact footage. When I watched the game, I understand Vini Jr. is very good at taunting people. He has tactics like that do that. Do I think Vini Jr. is farming someone to be racist to him? No. No. I think the Argentines fucking hate him. I think they hate Brazilians. Doesn't mean they're all racist to him? No, they're not. So this guy made a comment who happened to be Argentine. And look, he did this, right? If you're doing this, you don't want anybody lip reading what you're saying on TV. That's the first crime that I'm seeing here. The first moment of guilt. Okay? What's the second moment of guilt? Vini Jr. immediately runs to the ref right after it happened. Right after it happened, he sprints to the ref. If Vini Jr. was making up that apparently Prestiani, it looks like, and we'll go over the tweets, called him a monkey like 5 times, right? Which is, why the hell, yo, I can't believe anyone even says that to people. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? How does that even, like, what does Prestiani get out of that? Is he just working for Satan and that makes him feel good because he's saying something fucked up to somebody else? I don't fucking know, bro. I'm not racist. I would never know what goes through the mind of somebody who is racist. So my take when I was watching the football game, I was sitting on the couch. I said, look, Vinny is definitely right. He was definitely racist to him. 100%. Because if Vinny wanted to make that up, he probably would have waited like 2 or 3 seconds and then ran to the ref. The fact that he heard the word and sprinted right away, I think it definitely happened. I can't show you guys too much because I'm gonna get copyrighted. I gotta somehow minus out of this. I don't even know how to. So, Prestiani, look, we're gonna talk through this stuff. So basically, I've got a couple tweets pulled up here. So we have stuff coming out now about Mbappe, and so Mbappe told TNT Sports, I believe Gianluca Prestiani shouldn't come to the Bernabeu, the best stadium in the world. He doesn't deserve it. He shouldn't play. Okay? So this is the Vini Jr. statement. He says, racists are above all cowards. They need to put their shirts in their mouths to show how weak they are. But they have the protection of others who theoretically have an obligation to punish them. Nothing that happened today is new in my life or in my team's life. I have received a yellow card for celebrating a goal. I still don't understand why. On the other hand, it was just a poorly executed protocol that served no purpose. I don't like to appear in situations like this, especially after a big win and when the headline should be about Real Madrid, but it's necessary. My reaction, look, I understand with Vinny too, because he ends up always in the headlines because he's just one of those players that causes drama with his antics. And he seems to piss off a lot of people, right? So Mbappe goes and says, Prestiani called Vinny a monkey. It happened 5 times. I saw that. UEFA have the best cameras. Now we wait. This is not acceptable. It's not my kind of human being. Benfica are a top club. Nothing against them, but Prestiani should never play in the UCL anymore. Did Prestiani apologize? Did you see his face? An apology? We're not stupid. Me and Vinny, we saw what he said. Okay. This is what Mourinho said, which is where this all gets a little bit more interesting. Mourinho says when it happens in so many stadiums on Vini Jr., always with the same, there is something wrong. Okay, I lost a lot of respect for Mourinho here. I still respect Mourinho in terms of his football accomplishments, but as a human, I understand he's standing on the side of Benfica. I understand that. But in a case where there's racism, allegedly still, we don't have proof. I'm just saying my analysis of watching the way Vinny reacted to it, how he sprinted to the ref right away. Mourinho's side of it is that, look, Vinny, you wouldn't receive racism if you didn't appear in the antics. Okay, let's go over. And guys, look, I'm not trying to sit here and be all woke and stuff, but for me, there's no place for this shit in football, man. It's nasty. It's nasty to be racist to somebody. It's the least... It's the most disrespectful thing you can do is be racist to people. Like, seriously. When you do something like this, I understand it's one thing to be offended. And so Mourinho is basically saying, hey, Vinny, show some more class. Don't do celebrations. Mourinho, have you watched Brazilians play football? I'm sure you've managed a lot of good Brazilians. Man, these guys like to dance. All right, these guys like to dance. So Mourinho says, I told Vinny, you scored a wonder goal, and why did you celebrate like that? Why can't you celebrate with just the happiness of being a great player? Okay, so Mourinho says, I told Vinny Jr. the celebration had to be different. This club had Eusebio as a legend, a black player. Benfica is not a racist club. Okay, this is for me with Mourinho, man. All right, it was terrible initially when he said that Vini should be celebrating differently, because essentially what he's saying is you got the racism delivered to you because you started dancing and thrusting at the corner flag. Bro, nobody deserves racism, man. That's first thing of respect lost for Mourinho. The second thing, bro, nobody called Benfica racist. And what does this have to do with Eusebio, a black player, being the representation of the Benfica legend? What? So if I made a racist comment and you accused me of being a racist, and I said, no, I'm not a racist because I have 5 Asian friends. No, I'm not a racist. I have 5 Indian friends. No, I'm not racist. I have 5 white friends. I have 5 black friends. How does that make somebody not racist if they were racist? That doesn't excuse you. So just because Benfica has a legend of Eusebio, what is he talking about? And first of all, nobody was even accusing. I wasn't accusing Benfica of being racist. I was accusing Cristiani of being racist, because clearly he was saying some racist stuff to Vini, enough that literally within a millisecond, Vini runs to the ref saying, "Referee, this guy was racist to me. I scored a goal. I started dancing. I started thrusting. You gave me a yellow card, and now this player was racist to me." That's for me. Madrid manager saying, Arbeloa saying, "Go ask Prestiani what he said. It's unacceptable. We cannot accept these things. Ask Prestiani." Look, these guys don't want to repeat it. Fede Valverde, Uruguayan, South American player. When you cover your mouth with your shirt to say something, it's obviously to say something really ugly. Look, it's either that or it's legends talking between legends that don't want the TV to pick it up. He clearly said something he didn't want anybody picking up on Twitter with the era of social media. So now, UEFA, they're going to do an investigation. We'll talk about that in a minute. Will they be able to really figure it out? I don't know. If they get enough witnesses that can say that they all heard this, he's probably going to be found guilty and banned, I would assume. He said a word that should be never used. It was pathetic what he said. It's really, really bad. Mourinho, red card. Benfica official statement. Benfica supports and believes the version of facts presented by the player Gianluca Prestiani, whose conduct in service of the club has always been guided by respect for opponents, institutions, and principles that define Benfiquista identity. The club regrets the defamation campaign of which the player has been a victim. Like, that's where, for me, I understand you want to defend your club. What I don't understand, and so what? This was the weirdest part for me. Benfica as a club, this is now where people are starting to call them a racist club. Because they're going overtime, yes, to defend their player. On Twitter, they're starting to say, as the images demonstrate, given the distance, the Real Madrid players could have not heard what they were saying. So now they're trying to run a campaign trying to prove that it's impossible for there to be third-party witnesses. So UEFA has to now determine, is it Vini's word we believe or is it Cristiani's word? They're trying to now prove that nobody else heard it when multiple Real Madrid players said that they heard it. So now UEFA's opening an investigation after the Vini incident, and they're opening a disciplinary investigation. Mbappe's been a huge believer, saying Mbappe delivered a scathing assessment of what he witnessed on the pitch. There's Benfica number 25. I don't want to say his name because he doesn't deserve to be named. That started speaking badly. Then he pulled his jersey up here, covering his mouth, and he called Vini a monkey 5 times. I heard it. There are Benfica players that also heard it. This player doesn't deserve to play in this competition. We have to give the best example for youngsters. The UEFA statement said they have a ethics and disciplinary inspector appointed to investigate allegations and further stuff. And Prestiani denies the allegation, saying, "At no point did I direct racist insults at Vini Jr., who unfortunately misunderstood what he thought he heard. I've never been racist towards anybody," he wrote. Vini, who has frequently been a target for racial abuse throughout his career, racists are above all cowards and need to cover their mouths. Look. This is the fact of the matter. There's going to be a side here that says that Vini is making this up. I am going to take someone at their word when I watch the reaction of Vini that I saw yesterday. I just felt like my reaction would have been like, okay, maybe Vini is overdoing this if he waited a couple seconds and then kind of ran to the ref. When I saw Vini instantly hear that word and run to the referee, I was like, dude, he's definitely guilty. Say what you want about Vini, because there's going to be a whole side that just hate Vini. Because look, guys, look at his celebration, the way he acts. I get it. He's annoying. Is it any excuse to let racism slide or for him to be racist? And I'm seeing on Twitter, people are saying right now that Vini's making up that all these people are being racist to him. I doubt that. That would be a psychotic behavior disorder if somebody was just making that up. And you know, there's always a lot of drama around Vini. So that's now why there's other sides to this that are looking at it saying, well, there's always drama around Vini. Maybe he is making all this up. My analysis on the situation is that I don't like, the main thing I didn't like here, obviously, besides the racism that is being, you know, is in the alleged things that were said. I don't like how Mourinho is saying, like, you should change the way you act, right? Because players are always going to be players the way they play. Just like, essentially, like, I'm getting from this that, like, I love Mourinho, I do. But Mourinho is basically saying to him, like, hey, man, you wouldn't have racism if you didn't celebrate so much. And, like, in the case of Vini Jr., Mourinho, honestly, is probably right. But when you say that to him, you're basically saying, well, because you want to celebrate this way, you're going to get racism. There should never be racism. That's the point of this video. No one should be racist to anybody. There's no excuses for it. And so, like, I understand Mourinho is saying that to Vini, saying you wouldn't have all these issues with drama if you acted with a player, like, having more class, hardly celebrating. But, man, if you score goals like that, you should be able to do whatever you want. And I've seen way worse celebrations, like, way worse stuff than him going and dancing for 3 seconds at the corner flag. So, for me, I got to side with Vini on this one. I think he's in the right. Watching his reaction, watching a player like Mbappe, man. Like, Mbappe and Valverde and these players saying what they're saying about it, I have to trust these players, bro. I don't think they would all be making this up in some grand scheme, especially when they won the game. Like, it's not even like they're using an excuse that they lost the game. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, guys. For me, racism, always intolerable. Should never be a thing in society. And let me know what you guys think in the comments.